is that he has so much support. My biggest problem with Clyburn is that he decides who wins the South Carolina Democratic primary.
Oh, that guy.
That guy.
Okay.
That was the only reason I didn't want him to run, because he didn't want him. Because they also this is
How
really
does he
complicated.
decide? Because people like him?
When he
So
he endorses,
doesn't that say something?
that's something about him, but he always endorses bad candidates. He endorsed Biden in 2020.
Yeah.
Biden was
He knows that was a mistake, though.
yeah, but Biden was dead on arrival in 2020. Going into South Carolina, he was not going to win the primary. He was going to lose this primary and probably drop out after that. But Clyburn came and endorsed him, and he won like 60% of the primary vote in that state. And then that led into Super Tuesday, where he then swept against Bernie in so many more southern states, because he did so well in South Carolina. That gave him enough momentum to just push through. And that's so much influence on one person. I don't like that regardless of who it is. And the DNC knows that he has this much influence, and that's why in 2024, they tried to switch the first primary state from Iowa to South Carolina, because whoever wins the first primary state is that's a big presumptive nominee at that point. Like, you win the first primary state, that's a lot of influence in your favor of you will go on to become the nominee. That's why the Iowa caucus is so important. And the issue is that they're moving South Carolina first, and whoever gets Clyburn's endorsement will win that primary so overwhelmingly that it will knock the wind out of the sails of pretty much any other candidate. And the reason the DNC is doing this is so that basically Clyburn can pick the DNC's candidate, because southern state Democrats normally vote for establishment candidates. Like Biden, they voted for Hillary Clinton in 2008. They voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. So that's why I don't like Clyburn.
But going back to him endorsing Biden, I think that was just him being supportive of his party.
I think that was him being supportive of the establishment pick, and someone who he was buddies with, because they both had been in Congress for a very, very long time.
Yeah, but I think he was torn. I think that he was in a bad position. I think I just think he was in a bad position. He was in a bad position with that whole
He
thing.
wields his endorsement, and it's a big deal.
It's not deal.
It's not like, oh, I have to endorse someone, I guess I'll go with Biden. There are rallies held in South Carolina. In 2020, there were rallies held where all the Democratic candidates came down to South Carolina and rallied wearing T-shirts that said Jim Clyburn's name on it in blue, like a blue T-shirt that said Jim Clyburn. And they all rallied around with Jim Clyburn, and they tried to get his endorsement and win over his favor. That's kind of an old style of kingmaker politics that I don't like. Win this guy's endorsement, win the state. You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of that going on, but I just think he's got a lot of wisdom to bring to the young people, and he'll be out. I think he's been very, very, I just think he's been very smart, brought a lot of wisdom.
I don't know who the hell you guys are talking about.
I think he's done a lot for the black people, and and white in what he's done, brought it together. I don't know how to say it. I just think he's, maybe he's done some things that weren't so good, that like what you're saying, but his history, I think, gives him enough to say you're worthy to stick around and bring that wisdom to the young people.
I think he's just going to endorse Newsom.
He doesn't look so popular, though, does he?
Newsom?
Yeah, I just recently was shocked.
He's an alcoholic.
Wait, Newsom.
He's an
California.
He's an
guy?
alcoholic.
Yes?
Oh my God! Yeah, he's an alcoholic.
Mom thinks he's an alcoholic.
Why do
There's
you
You
nothing
don't
he's-
agree?
I think he is too. I'm just saying it's not like.
Why do you think he's an
You
alcoholic?
just said that like it was like a fact. Like there was like an article that came out. Like Newsom is an alcoholic.
I know
so he
he's an
probably is.
alcoholic
Why do you think that?
because I see it on him visually. He's very red in the face and the neck,
Jeez, I
and
hope I don't ever get too
I do.
embarrassed.
I do this for a living. I know how to spot alcoholism, and he talks about drinking a
Gee, I guess I
lot.
pulled one over your eyes.
Get out of here. And he has an irritable affect, and he talks about drinking, and he's an alcoholic.
Well, I just recently read statistics